If there's one thing I absolutely love watching, it's romance anime. And if there's one thing I love even more than romance anime, it's romance anime with a tsundere.
So that's pretty good.
And if you're into tsundere, you have definitely come across Toradora at some point of time. I mean, it's one of the most popular romance anime of all time, stars one of the most popular tsunderes of all time, and fans just can't shut up about it. So recently, after all the recommendations that I got for this anime, I decided to give Toradora a go. And boy, this anime is a real piece of shit. Toradora is arguably one of the worst rom-coms I have ever seen, and I watched this shit recently, so that should tell you something about Toradora. So let's take a dive into how Toradora takes everything that I love about romance anime and completely ruins it.
なんだよ、ぴったりじゃねえか。
I'll just get this out of the way since this is my biggest problem with Toradora, Taiga. I cannot stand this chick. So episode 1 establishes that Taiga is an absolute piece of shit for no reason at all. She punches Ryuji, the main character, for no reason, vandalizes her entire classroom, breaks into the MC's house, threatens him with a sword, damages his property, calls his pet ugly, and calls him a dog despite him making her food, cleaning up her house, and doing her dishes, and offering to help with her crush. And this is just the first episode. Throughout the show, she constantly goes off at Ryuji despite him always helping her out. She has no direction in life. She takes everyone and everything for granted, and she goes into rage mode whenever things don't go her way.
Why you gotta be such a bitch?
And yeah, the point of a tsundere is that they're meant to be rude at first and slowly start opening up to the MC. Trust me, I get it, okay? I'm a big tsundere fan myself.
This right here is my favorite thing ever. In the history of forever. I think about this every day. I think about this all night long.
Look at some of the greatest tsundere that have graced our generation. Mai Sakurajima, Senjo Gahara, Maki Sekuriso, Chitoge Kirisaki. You know what they all have in common? They are all good human beings and they actually care about the MC even though they may not always show it. In the rare event where Taiga actually does something good for Ryuji, she always has that condescending I'm better than you attitude and it's just super annoying to watch. She's an absolute eyesore and I just hate this character. Now the other characters, they're not as obnoxious as Taiga, they're just boring. The only character that has even a hint of good writing is Kawashima. It was actually fun to watch her grow as a person as the show went on and she pretty much stole every scene that she was in. You can probably tell I'm on team Kawashima here. Every other major character in this series is extremely one-dimensional. Ryuji is the most typical bland romance protagonist ever. In fact, he's so bland, I'm just gonna refer to him as MC Kun from now on. Nah, I'm not actually doing that for the entire video. Kitamura is somehow even more bland and boring than Ryuji. Minori is the always cheerful airhead character. I honestly thought she had the potential to be interesting in the beginning with the whole cheerful personality being just a facade to hide her own inner struggles. But her personality got stale real quick and her character's conclusion was just dumb and super generic.
If you run through the halls and trip, you get a nosebleed. If you go through life and trip, you cry.
Okay, moving on to the plot. It doesn't exist. Toradora is just a compilation of random slice of life arcs that don't really go anywhere in the grand scheme of this anime. It's like watching a shonen anime with a lot of filler episodes, and you're only watching the filler episodes. Episode 7 and 8, there's a random swimming contest where one of them doesn't even know how to swim for no reason except to be a segue into the beach arc, which is actually a semi-decent arc, I'm not gonna lie. But even the school festival, which is usually the highlight, the peak of a romance anime, is just boring and underwhelming here. The only real takeaway from it is that Taiga is a useless kid who needs to be taken care of, which I already knew that, chief. Move on. After the school festival is a pointless character arc for Kitamura, which is probably the worst arc in this anime. I will go over it in brief. Basically, everyone in the school wants Kitamura to become the student council president in the upcoming student council elections. But Kitamura doesn't want to become the president anymore because of something Sumire, the current president, said to him. I wonder where this is going. Is this going to be an interesting plot point with character development? Okay, who am I kidding? Of course we know where this shit is going. And so you watch an extremely boring 3 episodes which have no point in the overall narrative of this anime, like most of the other episodes. And the conclusion of this arc is, I think predictable would be a massive understatement. It's also so fucking dumb, like Kitamura has a crush on Sumire, that's all good. But he confesses to her in his council election speech in front of the entire school and all of the teachers. Yeah, forget the fact that even in anime you have to be an extremely disciplined student to be a council member. You think he'd instantly be taken off the elections and stripped off his post, but the teachers kinda just go along with it.
I don't care.
And later Taiga and Sumire have a sword fight in the middle of school. Well, let me say that again. A sword fight in school. What am I watching? Yeah, did I mention that this anime is incredibly unfunny? The funny of this anime basically boils down to, look, Taiga's so short but she hits people, haha, that's so funny and quirky. Or look, they're having a sword fight in the middle of school, that's funny because it's random and doesn't happen. Or look, Minorin is such an airhead even though she's in high school, isn't that hilarious? It's not funny. It's all random comedy and nonsensical bullshit that just happens for the sake of it and it never hits right. Speaking of unfunny, what the hell was that parrot there for? It wasn't funny, it was super annoying actually because I felt like the writers were desperately trying to make me laugh with that bit. It's just a dumb looking parrot moving spastically and making stupid noises. Like, how is this supposed to be funny to anyone above the age of 10?
Please.
In Toradora's 25 episode run, I laughed once at a PP joke. That shit was actually funny, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, even when this anime isn't being a filler and there are actually decent character moments, 0 of them are between Ryuji and Taiga. And that would be alright if it weren't for one small little fact that you may not have realized. Ryuji and Taiga are the main fucking couple of this anime. Like, I find it odd that in almost every major arc, one of the other female characters outshines Taiga in every way. Ami absolutely steals the beach arc, Minori takes the cultural festival, and Ami again takes Christmas and the school trip arcs. There's no meaningful development between Ryuji and Taiga. Heck, the two of them don't even like each other until the last 4 episodes where they try to take this non-existent relationship and absolutely jam it down your throat. Which gets me to the climax.
We can get married.
A veil.
The climax is without a doubt the worst part about Toradora. First we have the school trip arc, and I just want to point this out. The school was originally supposed to take them on a trip to Okinawa, but the hotel they were supposed to stay in burned down. So instead they decided to take the students on a ski trip 2200 kilometers away instead of simply booking another hotel in Okinawa. Wouldn't that be the more logical thing to do? Like, I get the characters being absolute dumbasses, but everyone else, is everyone in this anime just retarded? Also, I noticed the anime tries to be physically dramatic towards the end, like Taiga rolls dramatically and hits her head. Minori falls dramatically while chasing Taiga and her nose starts bleeding. Ryuji falls off a bridge. Like, am I watching an Indian soap opera here? Anyway, by this point, having already watched 22 episodes, I wasn't really expecting much from the climax. But goddamn, these last 3 episodes are an absolute shitfest. I know I shit on Taiga throughout this video, but Ryuji is as much of a bitch as her during the climax. So Yasuko, Ryuji's mother, gets upset at Ryuji for working a part-time job since she wants him to focus on his studies. And this man just goes off at his mom saying that she's the one who didn't focus on her studies and ended up failing in life. Like, yeah, you dumbass, that's exactly why she wants you to focus on your studies so you don't end up like her. Like, I get Ryuji wanting to help her and all, but his mom was being nothing but reasonable here. So after a small fight with their moms, Ryuji and Taiga decide to run away and get married. Cause the show wasn't already over dramatic enough. Like, why exactly did they decide to do that? Yasuko had been nothing but reasonable and accommodating throughout the series, and Ryuji does say that she should rely on him more since they're family and all. And 10 minutes later, he decides to leave his single mother alone and run away with this annoying ass chick. Simp. And their friends only encourage them to do it. I could never approve of your decision. But here are my entire life savings to enable you to carry out said decision, even though I said that it's wrong and I could never approve of it. And then Ryuji and Taiga just end up going to their grandparents' house. Everything gets unfucked within half an episode. They get back home, and with just over 10 minutes of runtime left, Taiga decides to run away on her own.
But what the hell, boy?
This shit never ends, does it? She runs away to go and patch things up with her mom, and I know they were going for that whole character development moment for Taiga, but you'd think she'd at least tell Ryuji, the guy she was unironically planning to run away with and marry just 2 episodes back.
Guys, this is just cringe.
But whatever, it doesn't really matter. She makes a big comeback towards the end of the episode, and at this point I honestly couldn't care less. Honestly, I'm surprised Minori and Kitamura didn't have their own running away arcs at this point. The final confession happens and the anime just ends. So we're back exactly where we were before the whole running away arc, and that's it. Overall, I don't like this anime.
I don't like it. I avoid.
The characters are terrible, the plot is overdramatic and honestly just bad. It's not funny. There are some anime out there that are just so bad they're actually fun to watch. School Days being a prime example of that. Like, don't get me wrong, I absolutely hate this anime, but you'd better fucking believe I enjoyed watching it way more than Toradora. Toradora is so bad that it's just bad, and honestly the only reason I got through it was so I could milk it for this video. So yeah, in conclusion, Toradora bad. But that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts below on the video or on Toradora in general. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing on the daily, make sure to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram. A lot of exciting content there. But with that, thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.